If you've been following any offseason NBA news, then you most likely have heard that Isaiah Thomas dropped 81 points in a Joss over Pro-Am game. Yes, we're aware that it was not a professional league, but irrespective of what type of league or talent was involved, you can't deny that one person scoring that many points in a game is nothing short of amazing. Maybe that performance is the start of a great comeback for Thomas, and that there's every likelihood that that comeback story involves the Los Angeles Lakers. Over the last few years, most of us have quickly forgotten that Isaiah Thomas was an NBA star and a menace to opposing teams. Standing at 5'9", he was athletic and he could score, but he was also passionate, tough, and gritty. The saying, "don't leave anything on the court," could have been his mantra. There's also the argument that he never fully got the respect and recognition that he deserved at the time. But there's no denying that he was one of the major stars in the NBA from 2014 to 2017. During that time, Thomas led the Celtics in scoring each year, and his efforts on the court were the main reason the Celtics got to the playoffs in those 3 years. The Boston Celtics even went as far as the Eastern Conference Finals in 2016-17, where they eventually lost to the Cleveland Cavaliers. In that same season, he came third in the NBA in scoring, averaging 28.9 points per game, and he was later named to the All-NBA second team. He was also added to the NBA All-Star game 2 times. He scored 53 points 2 weeks after the death of his sister, on her birthday, in an overtime win in the second round of the playoffs. That time was definitely the best in his career, and then he had that horrible hip injury. And ever since that time, Thomas has bounced around the league to different teams, with one of them being the Lakers, of course. It all began after his hip injury. The Boston Celtics traded Thomas to the Cleveland Cavaliers in August 2017 for a deal that saw the Boston Celtics acquire Kyrie Irving. It didn't take too long before Thomas was sent to the Lakers at midseason, where he played only 17 games. There were flashes of brilliance during his brief stint with the Lakers, but thanks to his hip injury, his time there was cut short, and he was again on the move. In the summer of 2018, Thomas joined the Denver Nuggets. He later signed with the Washington Wizards in July 2019, before he was once again traded mid-season to LA, but this time to the Los Angeles Clippers and not the Lakers. He couldn't hit the ground running for the Clippers, and he was out of contract again. Thomas later signed a 10-day contract with New Orleans and played only 3 games, and ever since then, he's been a free agent. Thomas has been working hard on getting back to where he was in the NBA during his glory days in Boston. But the first thing was to get healthy, and a proof that he's not so far from that was his 81-point performance. In that match, he reminded everyone what he could still do and that he's not finished. Contrary to many people's opinion about him and his career, his 81 points matched the single-game total of his idol, Kobe Bryant, back in 2006. Fans cheered the two-time All-Star as he drilled step-back jumpers and broke out ankle-breaking crossovers. Thomas put on a show for the crowd, and those in attendance responded by giving him a standing ovation. When you think about it, Isaiah Thomas is only 32 years old, and that's still relatively young to a large extent, so maybe he's not finished after all. There have been numerous rumors about Isaiah Thomas going to the Lakers, and it appears that they are true after all. We believe that the Lakers are considering a move for the former All-Star as a potential support for their new Big Three of Russell Westbrook, Anthony Davis, and LeBron James. The Lakers have been very busy this offseason, and they have pretty much nailed the veteran minimum portion of the offseason, signing Carmelo Anthony, Trevor Ariza, Malik Monk, Kent Bazemore, Wayne Ellington, and Dwight Howard, players who can help the franchise over the course of an 82-game marathon. When you think about all those signings, it's safe to say that the Lakers are now the NBA's house of veterans. The Los Angeles Lakers now have 8 players on the roster, aged 32 and up, 5 of them 35 and older. The reason why these moves are made is pretty obvious. These players are all looking to get a ring on their fingers at the end of the NBA season. Most of these players already have their money, and they have several awards. But in this day and age, it's all about putting a ring on it. And the Lakers aren't done yet. We've already gotten to a point in the offseason that teams round out the back end of the rosters, and it's usually difficult to get quality players for minimum deals around this time. But the Lakers have 3 more spots that need to be filled. The Lakers recently worked out 3 veteran guards as they attempt to provide an extra point guard behind Kendrick Nunn and Russell Westbrook. The 3 veterans include Darren Collison, Mike James, and Isaiah Thomas. The Lakers are very interested in signing Thomas, and what sets Thomas apart from Mike James and Darren Collison is that he also reportedly got an additional workout with Westbrook and LeBron James. If it wasn't for that, it would be hard to distinguish a clear favorite between the 3. Despite his 81-point performance, teams around the league are obviously very skeptical of bringing Thomas on their roster. The last few seasons of his career did not exactly go well, and there is also his injury history that teams are wary of. But if he should go back to the Lakers for a second stint, he's obviously going to be an interesting fit. He won't, of course, be going to the Lakers as a key piece in the team. He would likely play only a handful of games in split duty, especially as he tries to get back in his best shape. But Thomas would be around one of the greatest players of all time, LeBron James, and another superstar, Anthony Davis. Thomas would bring something immeasurable to the Lakers team. Even during his best season, the relentless point guard played his heart out on the court, and that's something the Lakers won't mind having on the bench. Also, we don't think that Thomas would take anything for granted after fighting so hard to get healthy again again. His hard work and attitude always end up rubbing off on the rest of any roster he ends up on. However, the Lakers are not exactly in a rush to sign anyone immediately. Instead, the Lakers will take their time as they look to add wing and guard depth ahead of the 2021-22 season. So for now, the Lakers are bringing some players into their training camp to fight for the last few roster spots. The Lakers already have 12 players under guaranteed contracts, and they will go into the next season carrying 14 players so that they can maintain flexibility. Each team is allowed to carry a maximum of 15 players, and 2 two-way players, and there's a big possibility that Isaiah Thomas will be in that mix, especially when you consider the fact that a third point guard is a priority for the Lakers, as well as potentially adding another wing. The Lakers were dumped out of the first round of the playoffs last season by a Devin Booker and Chris Paul-led Phoenix Suns, in a humiliating fashion. Many fans would argue that that only happened due to the many injuries their team suffered, especially injuries to their key players like Anthony Davis and LeBron James. And with the world still adapting to COVID-19 and the new protocols that surface because of it, roster depth is of serious importance to the Lakers, especially if they plan to go far during the playoff series. And given their intention of signing 2 players and leaving a roster open, it most likely means that Jared Dudley's 2-year tenure with the organization will come to an end. Thomas is a free agent now, and when he was asked about his future, Thomas explained that he is in discussion with 3 to 4 teams. He didn't say which teams he's been talking to, but we're sure that the Lakers are one of those teams. If not, why would he have a private training session with LeBron and Westbrook? It's very important to note that LeBron James and Thomas played together in 2017 at Cleveland, although that season didn't exactly lead to the best results as Thomas was traded away. The Lakers are not concerned with the relationship between LeBron and Thomas. I mean, if that was even a question, Thomas would not be in any conversation concerning the Lakers, as the head office would not want to upset their main star. That aside, it's no news that LeBron has been in full support of Isaiah Thomas in his comeback bid, and he might be willing to give him a chance to prove himself in his new-look Lakers team. When Thomas discussed his journey to return to the NBA, the Lakers superstar responded with some nice encouraging words, tweeting, "Yes sir, killa. Keep going, my G. #TMC." To which Thomas replied with a tweet of his own that read, "You already know, King. All love, killer. This shit don't stop." It remains to be seen if the famous purple and gold will give Thomas a chance to prove himself in the NBA once again. However, there's no doubt that the former Boston Celtics star and former All-Star is doing everything he can to get another chance to sit among the best at the top of basketball competition in the world. Comment below to let us know your thoughts, and be sure to subscribe for more. And don't forget to turn on notifications so you never miss another one of our videos. We'll see you next time, latest Hoops fans. Until then, keep shooting your shot!